Kia ora from Aotearoa. It's Poppy speaking, reporting on mind energies and how that affects everybody individually at this time. And quite a very important message today. It does involve some key points to how we shift paradigms, which is really what we need to work on right now, because the waves of unity that we are in are about bringing us into unity and into harmony and into balance, and we do that within ourselves. So I'm going to talk a little bit I'm going to give a little bit of my personal experience as to what happens, just so that you know that I'm just not a voice that says all this stuff, and then people think, well, yeah, sure, for her to say all that, but I go through all of this stuff. Well, I'll let you know that we all go through it. And at the moment, in this raging storm energy, so we're in a storm day wave, but we're also in the storm trecena. And then we went into 11 water. It's just incredibly emotionally sensitive, and with a full moon and everything, we will be going down, and we will be going into the belief system of our greatest traumas. And I just really want to encourage everybody and just say, look, hang in there, because we have to go through this process in order to master ourselves and to master our emotions, so that we can indeed rise with the frequency of the earth. Now, yesterday it was 10 star or rabbit, and that is where we uplift in frequency. And during that time I suddenly felt a lot of strong emotion come upon me, a lot of grief, and I was like questioning. I was with a friend and I was questioning, what is this, and anyway, I lay down on a healing bed that he had, and I just started to breathe and feel, and he asked me if I wanted to have music, and I said no, I just want to listen to the rain. And I really felt I wanted to listen to the rain. I guess that storm energy, and I am a storm personality. I don't like the labels, but anyway, so I was breathing away and connecting with traumatic past life memory. I was remembering divine love. And then I was also remembering being a sacrifice in that life, and it was a Mayan life, and it was beheading, and it was bloodthirsty, and it was horrible. And it's also where I feel the programming came in to as part of the fall, and that trauma has been with us for eons now, and it's our job to clear that. So as I was breathing into that, and I was aware of these two different polarities, of one being a sacrifice, being beheaded, being in total fear. The other was having had the memory of what divine love really is, and that the beauty of that, and how we all used to experience that, and when we were free of trauma. So as I was tuning in, suddenly a massive boom of lightning just came in, and it made me jump, and it did something to reset me inside, and I had like a kundalini experience while I was lying there, and my body was shaking. And later I looked at the Schumann resonance to see what had happened, and at that time the Schumann resonance, which is Papatuanuka, or the Earth Mother's resonance, the amplitude had risen right off the charts. It was really, really high for that window of time. And so my sensitive friends also felt that. So this is a frequency that was coming in. It's not bad, but when a high frequency does come in, then anything that is in us that is unlike that frequency has to be cleared. So what is in our belief system is going to come up for healing in the storm energy, because it's all about the lightning path within the neurons that we have, the wiring that is inside our neural circuitry, which is going to just change us and reset us when we do the work. Okay, so that was all in swing, and I felt very energized by that experience, and I had to drive quite a long way home, and came home and we went into the energy of 11 water while I was driving home. Now that is so much sensitivity. The most sensitive signs are storm and water that I know, and we carry our emotions in our hips. So if you're a yogi and you're doing your work, you will have good flexibility in your hips when you're emotionally fluent. Now, it's great to actually go through our emotions. It's great to connect with them. During the night, with 11 water in full swing in this day wave and in the storm energy, I went into a deep sleep, which is unusual for me because I'm a bit of an insomniac, and I woke to go back into the memory that I had as a 2-year-old of being in a satanic ritual. I could see the car that was taking me. I felt it was looked massively huge because I was only 2. I could see everything, but what happened is I couldn't see how I got out of the ritual, because I was left in a very dangerous situation. I had throat injuries, I had of course anal injuries, I had bruises and bumps all over me, which I also am reflecting in my body right now, and twisted neck, and I was left in a state that I didn't know how to get out of, and it's the only part of the memory that I haven't been able to recall or remember how I got out of that situation and who actually helped to heal me so that I could live. Anyway, so that came up, but it came up with the belief system of that I'm beyond help, that my issues are too big for people to help. Now this is very real for anybody who's experienced domestic violence or sexual abuse. These things come up, and this belief system from the age of 2 has manifested in my life over and over and over. It was set in there at that time. So I've been quiet about my health and about my injuries and about my pain all my life, and tried to carry on living and maintaining my energy and carry on just living and being with quite an enormous amount of physical stress and tension. And right now it's really paramount. My neck, I don't know, it doesn't sit properly on my shoulders. My body is out of alignment, and at C1 the atlas bone is twisted, and I've had a chronic pulsing in my head. I've been to numerous healers, and I probably received the healing that I could at that time. So with the belief system, we have to change within the belief system, because before we can even receive the healing that we need. Anyway, now I need to have this manipulated back into place, and I've talked with people today who are more than willing to help me. And last night I've got a whole bunch of tissues in here. I'm going to do a fire ceremony because we're still in the energy of 11 water, and I'm going to burn all the tissues. I've got frankincense oil on here. I'm burning rose, which to me is unconditional love. I've got myrrh. I want to end the Illuminati connection to child sacrifice and abuse. I want to start to generate, and I will in my own life. I'm with a group of people that we assist and help people who have been through the extremes of sexual abuse, and this is whether they have received the abuse or whether they have given the abuse. We have to remember that those who give the abuse, and my parents gave me abuse, have also been hurt, and I know that they went through a lot. My mother recently passed over, and in spirit she has told me that she is grieving for the loss of the daughter that she could never nurture and love and hold because of the rituals that happened, and it had to happen. Look, this is a big long story, and I would have to share that another time, but I'm willing to be interviewed by the correct person on that. So yes, they were aggressors, but I also know that they were victimized, and everybody has to be healed in this. The people that experience the trauma of being abused, and the ones that experience the trauma of giving the abuse. And I think maybe the trauma of giving abuse is more painful than the trauma of receiving abuse. I mean, everybody has their set, but I know that that my daughters were exposed to sexual abuse because I wasn't able to protect them or help them myself, which to me is so painful that I never felt that I could be there and protect them as a mother. So these are the very real things that happen, and these are the real things that are going to be coming up in our belief system. Just last week, I travelled and went and then started to get almost a migraine. I landed on my friend's doorstep in a bad state, and she was amazing, because my belief of I want to go home was coming up. For years and years, I've woken every morning saying, I want to go home, I want to go home. And I've wanted to, and then I've done all this gratitude stuff and tried to do everything and change my frame and work with my energy. But then after that, I had to look at the belief that was underlying I want to go home. And I remember that at the age of 2, not understanding what death was, I used to will myself to be invisible, to not exist. And that's where that came from. So I had to go back and change that belief. Know that I'm cherished, know that I'm held, know that I'm safe, and that I can change things at the point of the trauma. We all have to do that, and this is what this storm energy is calling up within us, is to actually go in and do the work to repair our belief systems, and this is the real work. Now at the moment, I don't want to hear any more about masks. I don't want to hear any more about you having the vaccination. I don't want to hear any more about the outer world. And the reason is we have to clean up our inner world. If we feel like we're under attack, it's because of the trauma that we've had. And the system is merely here to show us and give us that challenge that we feel what it is when we are operating. I'm being attacked, they want to kill me, they're all going to take us out, it's getting really bad, the New World Order is going to take over. Okay, that belongs to your belief system, so please, I encourage you to go inside and heal. Go back, remember the first time that you ever felt under attack. Breathe, regress, do it with a hypnotherapist or a breath worker or someone that's trained in the field if you have to. We all have to take responsibility, because as each one of us heals our belief system, we start entering into this new paradigm. In this new paradigm, which is commonly known as 5D, there's no more collateral damage, because we're not collateral. We are not chattels. We don't belong to anybody. We don't have relationships. I've been pondering the word relationship. Okay? Relate. I was like, are we trying to catch up on someone we know because we're being relate? And then you add the ship and we're going right into maritime law. So it doesn't make sense. I mean, so to me, in the new paradigm, we don't have relationships anymore. We will have connection. And we will have connection with whoever it is that we are standing in front of. Whoever we are with in that now moment. I've just been at a spiritual festival, and I received hugs and gave hugs. I massaged people's knees and necks, and I could give love, I could receive love. I was in the now. I was connecting with soul after soul after soul after soul, and it was beautiful, and it felt like a new paradigm. It felt like the energy that was coming. There was love. You could leave your wallet lying around, you could leave your money lying around, no one would take it, because everybody trusted everybody at this festival. There was spacecraft in the sky watching over. There was an amazing atmosphere, which gave me a hint and a taste of what the new paradigm is about. Now, when it comes to that extra personal intimacy, it's always a choice. Even if person, like marriage, I don't really understand marriage either. I remember when I first got married and I felt like this of energy, like, oh, what have I done? Because it became a legal thing. It became a binding. It was caught in the matrix. It wasn't connection. And, there is such thing as divine connection. And I don't even know how that's going to really look, except that I know that I'm having hints of that. and that's a beautiful thing. Now, in the new paradigm, we need to be free. We need to be our authentic selves. That's our freedom. So we're not owned by anybody. We don't have to sacrifice ourselves by anything. The times of sacrifice are going to be over in the new paradigm. I mean, we're just going to come into the energy of 12 dog later on, and that's all about the tribe that we run with. Last night, in my desperation, with all my snot and tears, I called out. I've been studying Spanish, and this is a beautiful synchronicity, but I called out, "Ayúdame, por favor," which means help me, please. And in the morning, I turned on my phone, and there was a message from my friend who lives in Spain, and we met on Skype right there and then, and she actually let me tell the story of the abuse, and it was the first time someone had let me tell the story of what actually happened to me as a 2-year-old, because it's actually too traumatic for people to hear. But she said she'd just been out anointing the earth and doing all sorts of beautiful work with the full moon energy, and she said, I can do it, and I have my partner here, and he can debrief me, and he will help me with any trauma that I experience from you telling your story. And she's my tribe. She's one of my tribe. We connected in the now. There was so much love, and there is so much love. Okay, so everywhere we go, there is a lot of love. There are people that want to help us, and this is what I need to know. I am not beyond help. I'm changing that belief. We have to do that. We are not being attacked. It's only our belief system which is saying that we are attacked. So anyway, while we're still in the energy of 11 water, I'm doing a fire ceremony with all the tears and snot that I cried last night, and with my beautiful friend who's living in Spain, who helped me this morning, and to a chiropractor who rang and has been more than keen to help me, to a friend that I can talk to about just about anything, and I've just got to say, we really have to work together now. We have to run with our tribes now to help each other heal, because we do need each other's help. We are getting to the bottom of our belief system, to the most deepest causes of our trauma, where our most dodgy beliefs have come from. You know, don't give up, don't take yourself out now. Like, the pressure is going to be on, and it could be on for a few more years. So we're really going to have to become together to help each other rise up and stand tall. Now I'm part of a group where we're going to try and get the help for everybody who needs it. For the abuser, the abused, everybody. We all need the help, and we have to stop judging one another. We have to have compassion on one another, because unless a person who is an abuser, who's caught in that cycle of abuser and can't do any better, they're still doing the best they can. My parents were doing the best they can. My father was in the ritual, and he's probably the one that saved me. So even though he might have been in the abuse, he also probably saved my life, you know. So there's love and there's hurt, there's all of these different things, these polarities, these polar extremes, and we have to come in, we have to find the middle, we have to bring the balance within our belief system, and for that we have to look inside, not outside. We don't have to keep going outside, we don't have to keep going on and on about COVID and masks and vaccinations and all that. It's a distraction, it's an outside thing. It's not a distraction in as far as it's calling up our belief systems to be healed. So let's take advantage of that. Now, let's see, lighting a fire in front of everybody. Who knows if it's going to burn, you know. Let's see. I give to the fire all my pain. I give to the fire all the energy of the sacrifice that I had. I give to the fire my broken belief system, that it may be transmuted back into health. I give to the fire child sacrifice. I give to the fire my love. I thank the fire. I thank the water. Aisho salandari shaliandurvai. In your rumba kai shalindiari cielo toturiana machiare. In kialandiari shiela sura varashandari ciela curvai. Aindurum boresial yarushunda makaram is yarali shay soram bay. Mialodora varis ja yarumbe. Shiakuriala manjaka. And I'm just going to leave it there and continue on with my fire ceremony on my own. And I thank you for taking part. Thank you for hearing. And may you be blessed. May all beings be happy and free. Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam.